Guys, what is up everyone? I'm back for you with a new video. This time comes the highly requested how to set up OpenVPN on pfSense 2.4 video. I will go with you through each and every step of the whole procedure. Many of you requested a video for that. It's the most popular article on my website cosec.com, so it's about time to make a video on it. And I will guide you through each and every step on how to install OpenVPN on pfSense 2.4, and we will test everything with combination of pfSense 2.4 and Windows 10. So let's get over to the computer and get started. So I have a vanilla Windows 10 VM here, which we are going to work with, and I also have a vanilla pfSense version 2.4.4. so that we can start with a clean slate. I haven't set up anything prior to shooting this video, so we will start from scratch altogether. I am going to use a dynamic DNS service to basically get a fixed or a static IP address so that I can access my pfSense firewall remotely. If you have a static IP address anyway from your internet service provider, you don't need that, but everybody else usually has a IP address that changes every 24 hours. So for that purpose, we need some service that basically makes or translates our 24-hour based changing IP address into an address that will always be the same. So it basically updates a dynamic DNS record with the new IP address every time this IP address changes. And how it's working is that pfSense is doing this update for you, and it updates the dynamic DNS provider. For this demonstration, I've chosen a free DNS service which is called NoIP. So if you don't need a dynamic DNS provider, or you already have one, you can just skip this step. This is called NoIP, so just go there, open their website. I put the link in the description below too. I used them in the past and I was satisfied with it. The only downside is that the free version, every 30 days they will send you an email in which you quickly need to reconfirm your host name. So you just do 2 clicks and you have another 30 days of free dynamic DNS, which is, I think it's a fair deal. Okay, so when you're signing up on this page, enter a host name just here and click on sign up. You can still do that later. You can just click on sign up here and first create an account. I already have an account. You can call that whatever you want. I recommend you to choose some generic name and not something related to your business, because that might lead people to be able to guess your dynamic DNS name, which will enable them to somehow get access to your IP address and eventually start sniffing around or preparing some attack or wreck on you. Okay, so sign up, fill in this form. It's pretty straightforward, and once you are logged in, confirm your account with your email address. I already signed up prior to this video, so I'm gonna simply log in. And when the first time you log in, it's written there that you need to enable your account, and probably that you need to create a host name. So the first thing you're going to do is you click on dynamic DNS then, and click on no IP host names. If you already created that in the sign up process, you will already see your host name here with the IP address of your internet connection next to it. All right. So I will just call it, for the demonstration, like this. As I said, I just recommend you just type anything there, like a longer number. You don't need to remember that or anything, you just need to set it up once, so do it as generic as possible. I will use my name for this purpose. Then you can choose one of those free domains right here, and I'm just going to choose this one. This is what I used in the past. I just had to quickly refresh the page, and now you can see that automatically the IP address of my internet connection is in here, and the same thing should happen for you. But if you just signed up, as I said, your IP address will be already written in here. So now we have our DNS in place, and that's the first step that we need to do if we want to set it up with DNS. Okay, now we can just leave that open in the background, open a new tab and log into our pfSense. As you can see, it's vanilla. I didn't even open it yet. So I hope I don't have to go. I have to go through the initial configuration again. Let's quickly do that. This is important for later, your domain. I will show you where to find that. We need that for the VPN. I just leave everything on default. Just adjust the time zone. That happens when you really do a vanilla installation. Come on, Europe, 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 Europe. But it just takes a second, don't worry. Alright, fine. Okay. And we're gonna change, of course, we're gonna change the admin password. Click on reload. And finish. Okay, so now we are in the dashboard. And the first thing we want to do is actually set up our DNS. So we go to Services and Dynamic DNS and we click on Add. Come on. Okay, so now depending on what kind of service you are going to use, you choose it from here. There are plenty of services that come pre-configured. In our case, we use no IP free, which is also here. So if you have that, just select it right here. Interface to monitor is of course our WAN interface, and the host name is in this case this host name what we have just set up here, or whatever your host name is. So just copy that in here. And then we go down and we enter our our no IP username and our no IP password. We give it a description. We call it simply no IP DNS and click on save. And now we see what's indicated by this green writing here that it's already connected to no IP and the address is updated. It takes a couple of seconds longer until it shows up in the no IP dashboard, but basically that's it for DNS. If you have a green IP address here, you are all set. Okay, the next thing we are going to do is we are going to create a certificate authority. And what I wanted to tell you is first go to System General Setup, just in case you are not aware of it, so you don't have to look it up later. Check up your domain name. If you just have a local installation, it's most likely that it's something like local domain. So just keep this domain name in the back of your head because we will need it in a couple of minutes. Okay, let's go to System, Certificate Manager, and we create a new certificate authority. We give it a descriptive name as it is OpenVPN CA. Copy that name, go down, enter it on common name as well. Then select your country code that suits you, enter or don't enter an address. I'm just going to do it for good measure. Munich. See a sec. Click on save. Alright, we have this certificate now. Now we need to create a server certificate as well. So click on certificates up here. Click on add/sign. You want to create an internal certificate and we just call it OpenVPN server cert. Do the same thing again, copy that. Make sure the certificate authority is the OpenVPN certificate authority that we just created in the previous step. If you want, you can rise up the algorithm, but you also would have to rise it up in the OpenVPN CA that we just created. So I just leave it on default for this demonstration. Okay, the common name, I will just use my DNS address. You can basically put there, if you have a domain, you just put it in there, or you put OpenVPN server cert in it again. I always used to put my DNS address in here. This is already comes preoccupied as we select the CA, and then scroll down to certificate type and choose server certificate. That's important to do. Click on save. Okay, now we have a certificate authority in place and we have our server certificate. The next thing we are going to do is we're going to create a new VPN user. So go to System and go to User Manager. Click on Add. Choose a username. I just call it as it is, like this. Choose a password. This will be the username and the password you will log into your VPN once it's set up. You can choose a full name, you can put an expiration date, you can put some custom settings there, you can add him to some groups, whatever, you don't need to do that now. And we also want to click to create a user certificate. We give it a name, which is COSEC, or let's call it VPN user COSEC. Yeah, so that we just can relate. The certificate authority, of course, is the OpenVPN CA that is pre-selected. It's the only one that we have here because it's the only one we created, but make sure it's the OpenVPN CA in case you have more. And I think, yes, that's it. Just click on save. Okay, user was created. Time for the next step. The next step, we are going to install the OpenVPN package export. So go to System, Package Manager, Available Packages, type OpenVPN into the search term or search field, click on search, and install the OpenVPN client export. Confirm it. It should just take a couple of seconds. By the way, guys, there is also a written article which I will link in the description of the video in case you prefer to go through that step by step. Okay, success. That sounds pretty good. Then we go to VPN, OpenVPN, to actually set up OpenVPN on pfSense. Okay, we go to Wizards. We want local user access, so we click on Next. The certificate authority, of course, is the OpenVPN CA that we just created, so click on Next. The certificate or the server certificate is the server certificate we created previously, so you can see that I named it, that it's obvious which one it is, right? Click on Next. Interface is WAN, we leave that as well. We leave this on default, we leave the port on default. You can change all of that if you want to, but for this demonstration I'm just gonna leave it on default. I call it OpenVPN, simple as it is. We want TLS authentication, generate a TLS key. We leave this all on default, we go a little bit more down. And now we come to the tunnel settings, which is important. Alright. So as you can see, I have the network 192.168.1.1 here, which is actually our local network. So let's put that here, 192.168.1.0. You don't want to put 1.1 because this gives an error and you won't be able to start your OpenVPN server. So you need to enter a correct CEDAR address, which is 0.0 and then the subnet mask, which is /24 in my case. For the tunnel network, you want to choose a different subnet. So in that case, for this demonstration, I choose 2.0/24. All right. So just adjust it according to your own network and make sure the tunnel network is a different network than your local network. Click on Redirect Gateway to force all client-generated traffic through this VPN tunnel. So to make sure that all of the traffic from your connected VPN client goes through the tunnel, that everything is encrypted. Okay, concurrent connections says actually if you leave it empty, it will not be a limit. If you want a little bit more security, you just have one VPN user, make sure to just put it on one, so only one concurrent client can connect to the server. That gives a little bit of extra security. Okay, let's go more down. I also always allow inter-client communication, so that in case you have multiple VPN clients connected to the server, they can interconnect with each other. If you don't tick that, they would not be able to do that. So you can choose or choose to not to tick this option here. Actually, for if you just have one user, let's leave it out. We don't need it. Okay, good. Dynamic IP, that's okay, that's okay. Then we need the default DNS default domain. This is what I said. So in this case, it's the local domain or whatever your pfSense domain is under system general setup. Okay, that makes sense. Then the DNS server in my case is my pfSense firewall itself. So I simply enter the IP address of my pfSense firewall here. Scroll down, scroll down, scroll down, and click on next. Then you want to tick this to create a firewall rule for the traffic, to allow the traffic from clients to server, and also an OpenVPN rule to allow traffic from clients through the VPN tunnel. Click on next, click on finish, and congratulations, you have set up OpenVPN. We are almost done with that. We can see the tunnel network here and everything that's running. Now, one thing I will always do now is check if the OpenVPN server is actually running. So go to status and go to services and check that this is running. See, it's green. In case it's red, there might be an error. So check all your settings again. Check if your tunnel and local network is in the correct format with the .0/24. And that's mostly the case that it won't start. And for further investigation, if you cannot figure out what it is, you can still go to diagnostics, and actually it's status system logs. You can go to OpenVPN and you will see a bunch of logs here that will point you in the right direction and maybe help you to find where the error is. Okay, so next we are going to export our client. So go to VPN, OpenVPN. Go to client export. Yes. So if you are using the dynamic DNS that we have set up in the first step, you want to choose hostname resolution. You want to open it up, and you see here that this hop2.org address is showing up here. So in case you use DynDNS, select it. That's very important. You have to select it. In my case, for this demonstration, to show you that the VPN is actually working, I have to leave it on interface IP address. If you have a static IP address and you want to use the static IP address to connect to your firewall, then you also have to leave it on interface IP address. All dynamic DNS, you choose your dynamic DNS here. Okay? Good. Let's scroll down a little bit. Then we want to use random local port. If you have more clients that want to connect to the VPN concurrently, you have to choose this. All right, so it's written here, use a random local source port L port for traffic from the client. Without this set, two clients may not run concurrently. That's self-explanatory. So if you have more clients connecting, tick this box. We don't, so we don't tick it. Good. Click on save as default. Perfect. Now you have everything set up. I just double check it. Yes, I have interface IP address. That's fine. And scroll down to OpenVPN clients. You see your OpenVPN user here, and you see the certificate of the VPN user here, which was created earlier. Now click on download the Windows installer to download the Windows installer. Click on save. Takes a couple of seconds to download. Open it up, right click it, and run as administrator. If you have this Windows Smart Screen shit going on, click on more info and click on run anyway. Click on yes. I just close this for now, make it, minimize it. I need to upgrade my computer to run VMs more smoothly in the future. So guys, if you are able, we leave everything on default here. Just click through the installer, agree, leave everything as default, click next. If you want to support me, go to cosec.com, click on the donate button and help me to buy a new computer. Click on install to install the tab driver. I really need to upgrade, seriously. It's slow. It's getting slow. Upgraded my CPU quite a while ago. Okay, click on next, click on finish, click on close, and double-click OpenVPN GUI to start OpenVPN. Next time you restart your computer, it will automatically start. Good. You can see it in the lower right corner here. There is your OpenVPN GUI, and right-click, click on Connect. Enter your username. Enter your password. And if you did everything correctly, and you hit the Enter key, you will be connected. And if the firewall comes up, allow access, private networks, public networks, whatever. This looks pretty good. This warning is okay, don't worry about it. And you see the green light that you are connected to your VPN. So, you successfully set up OpenVPN. I hope it worked for you too. I give you a tip: if you want to try the connection, just set up a mobile hotspot on your mobile phone. Connect your laptop to it and try to connect to the VPN like this to make sure it's actually working before you go to holiday and then you are disappointed that it doesn't work, you know. So just do that. And as I said, you can see that here. If you use it from your local network, by the way, and you try to access the internet, or you want to browse on the internet, it will not work. So always try it from a external internet connection, like if you really want to try if it's working, you know. And if you want to disconnect, simply right-click and disconnect. You can also see, if you go back to your pfSense, go to dashboard, where it is. There was an option to see which clients are connected. You can actually edit here. You can click on the little plus, and then you can add this OpenVPN widget. And then you see that somebody was apparently connected, or you see who is connected at the moment. You can kick them off too. It's a little bit delay there. So you will see if somebody is connected or if you are connected. Alright guys, this concludes this tutorial. If you liked it, please let me know in the comments below if this was easy to understand for you, because I try to make these tutorials as easy as possible for everybody to understand, even for total beginners, so that people are able to actually secure their home network with very little knowledge. And I also will link the written article in the description below. You can read through it, go through it step by step if you want to. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel, to hit that like button if you actually liked that video, and hit the notification bell to get notified about future pfSense videos. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next one. Bye.